Okay, so we all know that it's really important to learn new pieces of music and to memorize them, but we're not always very good at it because we don't always know the most effective way to do it. So what I want to give you are the 7 steps that I use to learn something and then memorize it. So the first step, which is the most important one, doesn't involve this thing. You've got to put it away. It's listening. So step 1, listen. So what you're going to do, if you have a piece of music that you want to learn, you're going to listen to it over and over and over and over. And I suggest at least 10 repetitions before you even contemplate picking up your harmonica. And this is what I do. I don't listen to a whole song 10 times over. I'll listen to what I'm planning on learning. So it's usually the introduction, or if there's a good solo that I want to learn, I'll listen to that 10 times over. And if you skip this step, it's going to make everything else a lot harder. And if you don't skip it, if you do it, you're going to learn much faster, and it's going to help you to memorize things. And just to give you an example of this, if I asked you right now to sing Happy Birthday, chances are you'd probably be able to do it perfectly. The reason that you can do it perfectly is because you've heard it so many times. You haven't sat down and consciously learnt it. That's what we're trying to recreate when we're learning a harmonica tune. So that's your step 1. Next step, still doesn't really concern the harmonica, is breaking into logical phrases or chunks. So what you're going to do when you're learning a piece of music is you're going to work out what the sentences are, where phrases naturally start and end. So if I take something like Sweet Home Chicago, that feels like quite a natural phrase. If I just took, that doesn't feel very complete. But because I took the whole thing, that felt like a natural phrase. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a note of what each of the phrases are. Break it up. You'll see in most of my lessons, I break things up by lick. So that is a logical phrase or chunk. So that was step 2. Step 3, you can now pick up the harmonica. You are going to learn each phrase by itself. So it's really important that you play through all of the phrases and work out which ones are going to need the most effort, and then focus on those first. So this might mean that the last lick of the whole tune is the hardest. That's the one that needs the most effort. So that's the one you're going to learn first. Because all too often, we get very good at playing the beginning of a tune, even if it's quite easy, and then we don't really bother learning the rest of it properly. This way, you're focusing on the difficult bits, you're putting all of your practice energy into fixing the difficult bits, and then when you have less energy, you can work on the bits that are going to be easy for you. Also, learning things in a kind of disjointed order really gives you a very strong command of each individual phrase, and that's really, really important. So that was step 3. Step 4 is putting the tune together. So you've listened to the tune a bunch of times, you've learnt each of the phrases, you should have an idea of what order the phrases come in now. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to practice playing the phrases in the correct sequence and really, really concentrate on how much space there is in between all of the phrases. So if I go back to the Sweet Home Chicago example, let's have a look at how much space there is between the phrases. So there's a lot of space where I didn't play, and there's a real temptation to do but that's not what the music does. The music has almost a 2-bar break. So that's what you need to do. Remember the space. That's really important, and think of that while you're putting it together. So that was step 4. So by this point, you can play the tune from start to finish. And this brings us to step 5, which is recording yourself playing. So you're going to record yourself playing because as much as we try to, we can't listen and play effectively at the same time. So you're going to play effectively, record yourself, and then listen to it and see which bits need a little bit of work. And learn what the difference is between a one-off mistake and a consistent mistake. So a one-off mistake, that's just a little bum note that happens. A consistent mistake is when the third note of the lick, every single time you get it wrong. And that's something that you need to work on. And you're going to identify that by listening to your recording, which brings us to step number 6, which is refining. So now that you know what isn't perfect, you're going to refine it until it is perfect. So you're going to rehearse just the little bits, not the whole tune, just the little bits. It's really important. And then finally, final step, step 7. This is the point where you know the tune, you can play it perfectly, it's wonderful. So step 7 is rehearsing. So this comes back to maintaining your repertoire. So maybe once a month, you maintain your repertoire, play through everything. So to put these steps into action, I have a challenge for you. I want you to learn a tune and memorize it for next month. So I'm recommending that you do Summertime, because I think that's a great song for the level that you're at to work on, but you can pick anything that you fancy. I've included a link to it below, and I look forward to hearing your fully learnt, memorized pieces next month.